Hello everyone, let's continue this adventure into the music age, the music creation. When we last were on this video, we looked at drums really quickly, and we're going to go into a more in-depth tutorial of this wonderful drum kit thing called the Machiniste. I love the Machiniste. It's probably one of my favorite things to exist. We really don't need that right now. Go away. It's pretty easy to grasp once you start, and you can really screw with most of these things if you really want to know what they do. It's pretty easy to undo them. That's why there's the undo button, and that would increase the volume if you really wanted to. So let's just go into this. This is where samples come in handy. If you notice, it'll say sample. And here's your 1 through 16, and here you can mute it if there's some weird noise coming off. I don't know what you would actually use this mute function for. So let's just go through this. Let's say you want to create a drum beat, and then do it. You don't know what to do, so you would click on your sample library right here, and you would go to one shots, which is this line type thing with a little one-sided arrow head, and then this would have to load up, and then you got your super sample of one shots, for example this snare, and what you do is you go for all the components of the drum. So for say a kick, so you would go up here, search kick, and then there's 5 billion different kick samples to choose from. I was gonna choose the one that I normally use, but I honestly can't find it. I'm gonna directly search for it just to make use of it because I love it. Now if you look here, that's an example of one. This is my kick sample. The kick sample that I really like. It does well. It accidentally right there. I normally like to put my kicks right there. In fact, I'm gonna remove that and try to get it. Oh, come on. Can I? God. There we go. There's your kick. And then you would go up here, and you probably want a snare. Just guessing. You may not want to put a snare in it. I prefer snare. I can't hear. Hold on. Whoa. Let's take that one. And it doesn't really matter, but we'll take it just for coolness. Then you also want I don't know, if you want hi-hats, you can take some hi-hat, search that, and there's 50 billion hi-hats are actually going to listen to a couple here. Crappy. Oh, that's good. For the purposes of this, let's just grab one. I don't know, maybe you want a clap. I actually know the type of clap I want, so you would just search clap and, I don't know, find your favorite clap. See if I can find my clap that I normally use. We can't, so let's just search through the billions of claps. Sorry it's taking so long. Clap. Great. Clap. Oh god, it's loud. Volume down. Clap. Oh, that's good enough for our learning purposes too. Sorry for my OCD-ness there. Okay, now that you have your thing, it's pretty self-explanatory from here. This one I find a little more comprehensive for my learning, so this is why I like this one the best. Say you wanted to kick, you put your kick at the first note, Let's say you want to put your snare to 9. See, now you can see exactly when the snare is going to go off and relative to the kick. Because when you press it, there will be this nice red light that just goes along the line as you lay. And then I'll play it for you right now. Right there. You can see it. I'm going to mute this so you can watch the lines. So now you can see right when it's going to hit. Excuse me. Right when it's going to hit at the respective point. And you can add whatever you want in the meantime. Stop! And that's about it. Now you can move it around. You can put your claps down. You can put your major amounts of hi-hats. I don't care what you do. Screw around. Do your own thing. Whatever. Let's play that. I don't even know what it sounds like. Oh yeah. Anyways. Okay, so there's your basic gist of Machiniste. Now there's so many different one-shots. You can literally look through this library all day, and you probably waste too much time going through this. Now, alright, let's go into a little more deeper. Let's say, what the crap? I don't care. Does it really matter right now? Let's say you used all these patterns and you would like them to go on a little longer. You use literally every single pattern in the thing. Excuse me. And you would need it to go further along. Further down, you need more, but getting another machinist seems kind of wasteful. So, what you'll do is you'll take this and you'll extend its length. And to keep it, correct, you want to go up by 16s in order for you to be able to add another whole 16. So that would be 32. I don't know, most people you can go up really high. 64 is about as far as you probably should go. 64 would be 4. So you would go here, and then you create your drum beat. You go here. I don't know, do what you want. Do whatever you want. And then go here. And then, I don't know, I'm trying to create something interesting for you so you don't get bored with my drum beats. And then you go here, and I don't know, just create a simple drum beat. I don't care, do what you want. There you go, basic drum beat. And then play it back, and it'll go through all 4. Because this length, you extend it instead of just going 16th notes 16 times, one time through. Repeated, it would go 64 times. So 16, and then another 16, and another 16, then another 16. Play that out. Sounds a little bit like this. Sounds a little off. I don't know what I did. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point was so you could see that it goes through all 4, and it'll change and follow all your things through for however long length. It goes to 8, so multiply that by 2, 128, and you can go up to 128 notes, 16th notes, 128 16th notes. All the way down for freaking ever. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. But you can if you have the so desire to. Now, let's get into a more let's get a little more complicated here. We're actually going to open up this, what they call the timeline, for once. Now, let's just shrink this up so you can see about 4 bars here. In fact, we only need about 1 bar. I'm going to lengthen this back down to 16. I bet you could just double click. Nope, you definitely can't just double click that. Let's not double click that. Scroll down to 16. There we go. And it's blank. And if you just click this, it'll just play for freaking ever, over and over and over and over again and again. And it'll never stop, literally. Just go on forever. You can put anything over top of it and it'll always keep on going through, and it gets annoying and it won't sound good. Your track will sound bad. So what you'll do is you'll click on over here in your timeline, you'll click add track. And you'll notice you have master output. If you have noticed, it's right there, master output. At any point we don't really need that much of. And right here you have Machiniste, and everything's cleverly labeled so you can get it. Here in Machiniste you'll see note track, pattern track, master, channel 1, blah blah blah. If you notice, pattern, there's the master. This is called the master controls right here. So if you wanted this to be directly translated, I'm sorry. Wow, my throat is dry. If you wanted this to be directly translated onto your timeline, so it would only go for like a couple bars. So for say, you click on this, go to pattern track, and then you'll notice on your timeline, we can actually completely block this out. On your timeline, it'll do this one beautiful little thing called Machiniste. And you can name this anything you want. If you just double click this, you can rename it and call it Toot for tutorial. Toot. And you notice it's completely blank. And you'll also notice if you press play, nothing's playing now. So now, instead of it playing through the whole track, it doesn't play at all in the track. And now we have a problem. My throat is really dry. This is really messing me up. Gosh, I need to get some water. And in order to do this, you need to add something to this track. See, there's a little line marking this little part of the drum thing. And you would literally just go double click like this, double click, and it appears. And it says A1. And if you want to know where they got that A1, it's actually pretty obvious. Here's bank A, and there's pattern 1. Translate to A1, and it'll play anything that is in this pattern done here. Now if you right click that, you can click switch pattern, and you can do A1, A2, A3, A4, and it goes on all the way to 8 as up over right here. And you can do the B subsection, C subsection, D subsection. It's all good. Dry throat is a killer. Now, you can, if you want to extend this, let's say instead of you get really tired of double clicking for every single time in the note, and I had to delete all this, just click and drag and then click delete. Not the backspace, the one that's like basically right, the one that is basically right above it. It says delete or insert. It says my thing. Instead of doing that, you can click here. If you go by the side of it, and it could actually be by the left side of it if your track started right here. So for say, you click here, and then you drag, and that'll bring it out. And if you look close enough, it's really hard, but I can try to bring it in so you can see. there's this little white line, and that shows where that pattern or that sequence of notes, so in this case these are notes, when that sequence ends and would just repeat. So here's your first sequence, which is it just plays through that, all of those, all 16, and when it hits this white line right here on this, it just goes back and repeats that again and again, and for however long you want it to. And if you play it, it would sound like this. I'm going to shut up so you can hear it. And that's your basicness of this. Say you got bored of that. You can take this, and I'm basically out of time. Say you're bored of it and you want to be able to switch it up as much as you want and flow better. You notice if you double click now, it's on A2 since you switched it to pattern 2. Really dry throat, and you go here, and then you would actually want to put a snare. Yeah, I actually don't know how this is going to sound. Hold on. Okay, that's what I thought. So for quick learning purposes, I'm going to do some things that literally won't make sense for a second. There you go. As far as you know, you just have to click back here and double click that to add it, re-add it. But I'll teach you about copying very soon since it's going to be very helpful. So if you were to click here, let's say you just literally just wanted to repeat your pattern, but you wanted to make it sound like it flowed, a lot better, because it doesn't flow now. It totally doesn't flow. So we got to fix that flow problem by adding an extra kick to make the flow sound a little better, because it gets a little old when your drum beat is just boom, pa, boom, pa, boom, pa. It needs a little extra oomph every once in a while, and I'm going to show you what I mean here. Let's just play this out a couple times, speed this up for quick purposes. There you go. We'll just play this out. And there you go. You have a nice flowing beat. And I could actually listen to that beat way longer than I could without that extra pattern in there. And that ends basic drum tutorials. We'll get a little more in depth with the drumming, and the drumming will become more in depth, but I gave you a basic of how to use this drums without being terribly confused. Next, we're going to work on some our synthesizers. We're going to finally get into deep with this. These are going to be a little more interesting. It may take a while. So for say there's going to be 4 tutorials for synths, as there were 2 tutorials for drums. There's going to be 4 tutorials for synth. I'm going to break it down and say there's probably going to be... We're actually going to hit the tools after effects. We're going to skip tools. Tools will be last. And we're going to go, and there's probably going to be a tutorial for all of these effects. 1 tutorial for each effect, but I don't know if that's really for sure yet. We'll find out. But until next time, guys, have a good day / night whenever you're watching this, and future days. A dry throat, Thanks for watching. Until next time, see ya.